Stop for a second. Seriously, what if I told you you're not getting poorer by accident? What if the system you trust the most is quietly designed to take from you? Governments love to say they're working for your financial freedom. They talk about stability, growth, opportunity. But history tells a very different story, a darker one. Because for centuries, governments have been using the same financial tricks to keep ordinary people struggling while quietly moving wealth to the top. And the craziest part? These tricks never changed. They just got better marketing. Let's start with the oldest trick in the book, inflation. When a government spends more than it earns, it has two choices: tell the truth and tax people directly, or quietly reduce the value of money. Guess which one they choose? Ancient Rome did this perfectly. They took silver coins and slowly replaced them with cheaper metals. Same coin, same face value, but less real worth. People didn't notice at first, until prices exploded, savings disappeared, and wages couldn't keep up. A silent tax. And today, it's still happening, just with central banks instead of emperors. Then came another trick: forced loans. Kings didn't ask for money, they demanded it. Refuse? You'd lose your business, your wealth, maybe worse. And even if they promised to pay you back, they often didn't, or they paid you back with money worth less. It was control disguised as duty. Then the game evolved. In 1694, Britain created the Bank of England, not to help people, to fund the war with France. Here's how the trick worked. Rich investors lent money to the government by buying government bonds and got guaranteed interest, 8%, the highest rate. Compared to Dutch government bonds, the rate was 2 times higher. During the Napoleonic Wars, Britain's debt went over 200% of GDP. Today, that would trigger panic, but back then, investors stayed calm and satisfied. Who paid that expensive interest? Not the rich, the public, through taxes on everyday goods. So the rich earned safely, and the poor funded it. Today, governments borrow massive amounts of money. They tell you it's for infrastructure, jobs, social good, but a big chunk flows to defense contractors, corporate subsidies, and bailouts. And when the bill comes, they don't cut at the top. They tax you, they inflate your money, they reduce your benefits. Same trick, different language. Look at 2008. The 2008 financial crisis didn't happen overnight. It was built step by step. Banks started giving mortgages to people who couldn't really afford them, assuming housing prices would just keep going up forever. But when prices dropped, the system collapsed. People couldn't pay their loans, and suddenly those safe investments lost value fast. Yes, banks made reckless bets and nearly collapsed the global economy. Who paid? You, through bailouts. Who profited afterwards? The same banks, bigger than ever. That's the rule of the system. Profits are private, losses are public. Even retirement systems follow the same logic. People pay for decades, trusting the system will take care of them later. But most governments don't save that money. They spend it immediately and leave behind promises, which future generations are expected to pay. Now step back, look at the pattern. Inflation equals growth. Debt equals investment. Bailouts equals stability. Cuts equals reform. The words change. The outcome doesn't. Wealth moves from many to few. Then things got even more sophisticated. Quantitative easing. Central banks created trillions of dollars out of nothing. Markets went up, stocks went up, real estate went up. But who owns those? Mostly the wealthy. And then there's inflation. When your salary increases, but your expenses rise faster, you're not getting richer, you're getting poorer, quietly. Governments go to war. War is a great way to take your money with your consent.
They sell it to you, wrapped in patriotism. And here's the smartest trick of all: complexity. Because if you can't understand it, you can't fight it. So why does this matter? Because it's still happening, right now. Stop at right this point and think. Question the education system governed by the central authority of the country you live in. Are young people being flooded with information to raise awareness and encourage critical thinking, or to turn them into obedient members of the system? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people will never escape this system, not because they can't, but because they don't even see it. And ignorance, that's the most powerful trick of all. So what can you do? Start asking better questions, and most importantly, stop assuming the system works for you, because it doesn't. It works for itself. If this made you think even for a second, you're already ahead of most people. Thanks for watching, and if you want to understand the system instead of being controlled by it, subscribe, because history doesn't just tell stories, it reveals the game. Inside Finance History.